Hi everyone. Hi. I am so happy to be here with y'all. Spend our day together. And I actually wanted to show you something really fun. Okay, so as you guys know, hi Sabrina, as you guys know, I've been doing these lives on Instagram for a long time, but even before that, I was doing them in a Facebook group. I was doing it on our first Facebook page when we very first started. And I wanted to show you guys this. It really blew my mind today. So look, these are all the live trainings that I have done over the past 5 years. Like, look at how thick this is. And you know what is so funny is that, like, it doesn't start out like this, right? How it goes is you do one. Then the next week you do one. Then the next week you do one. And then before you know it, you have this whole library of knowledge and trainings already put together. So this is your reminder that as you're showing up and as you're doing things, please take 5 seconds to just write down a short outline of what you're doing so that you're really set up in the future. I mean, some of these are, you can see just really short outlines. So it's just super fun. I love using paper still and still like keeping track of things because it's just so accessible. And before you know it, you never have to start from scratch again, right? Which is the whole point of building a business and really trying to set up yourself for success because we're in this for the long haul. So I thought that was really fun. I hope that you guys will find ways to do that. And so today we are going to be talking about how to be yourself online, how to show up over the next few months, which can be a little chaotic in our industry, as an introvert. Okay, as an introvert. And I don't know how many of you know this, but I am definitely introverted, okay? I totally need to recharge. I really need a lot of alone time. And I definitely love engaging with people and talking to lots of people, but it seriously does drain my battery. There's like a very specific moment where it's like, and I'm done. I gotta go now. And so when you are introverted and you own a business, I think there are some different strengths that we bring to the table, but there are some definite challenges because if we're not smart about how we spend our time or how we show up, we can burn out faster than more extroverted type personalities. And especially when it comes to feeling like we're putting on a show, feeling like we have to be somebody in order to get clients or have a business, feeling like we need to have this persona can be extra draining as an introvert. And so my intention with this training today is that I want to help you have like the one biggest mindset shift about being an introvert that is really going to help push you forward and bring your confidence back. Hi, Sunny. I love you too. You're so cute. So I want to really help you have a major mindset shift around being introverted and how that can and does affect your business. I also want to help you better define who you even are. Like I mentioned, I think for everyone in general, but for introverts especially, if we're putting on a show or a facade or we're kind of like faking it until you make it, we are drained like this. Okay, so the only way that we can show up authentically, the only way that we can like really master our energy is by understanding who we are, right? Who we want to show up as. And then the last thing I want to do in this training is I'm actually going to give you all a homework assignment that you can do tonight to start showing up even more authentically because 'tis the season, y'all. Like, we got to master our boundaries. We got to get good at how we're going to be showing up because there's a lot of energy happening around this time of year, okay? We're about to be in the thick of it. I saw a bunch of people launching their holiday gift shops and holiday shoppings. The trees are out, like we're in it. It's time. It's go time. Okay, so this training is for you if you routinely feel like you're living a double life one that's kind of online and then one that's IRL, right? You kind of feel like you're different people all the time, okay? I've definitely felt like that. This is all coming from personal experience. This is for you if you find yourself copying and pasting other people's words, phrases, or energy instead of really knowing how to be yourself. So this isn't really about, shame on you for doing that at all. It's like, this is a survival mode, right? We see something working, we kind of try it out on our own because we don't necessarily know what that's going to look like for us. What words would I use? What would my dream client want to know? Like, I'll just try what's working for other people. Okay, this is for you if you type out a whole caption just to erase it and write something like summer hair, okay? Or just like put an emoji up there, all right? How many of you have deleted whole entire posts, okay? Definitely me. And then if you feel burnt out by hearing everybody say the same exact thing, so like when you're on Instagram, if you're scrolling all of your, our industry pages and it all sounds the same, then this is for you too, because who wants to be the same? That's so boring. And then lastly, this training is for you if you know that you're different and you know what you're putting out there right now isn't true, like something's missing, but you just don't know what it is, right? You can't fully find your voice and you're not sure why. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first place that I always like to start when I talk about this is that I first just want to recognize that, a lot of people, especially like the bros in the industry, they want to be like, business isn't personal. Business isn't personal. What are you stressed out about? But you guys, our businesses are personal, especially in the beginning. Maybe when we've scaled to $1 million in sales a year and we're building out a team and we're getting to that next level, sure, maybe it becomes less personal then. But right now, as many of you are solo entrepreneurs, you hopefully have mentors, but you might not have a team yet. You might not know what those next steps are. It is personal. And because it is personal right now, I feel like that's why we end up clamming up, right? Like, we know it's important. We know it's a key to getting clients and growing our business. And so we're scared we might mess it up, right? Like, we're scared that it's not going to be perfect or it's not going to represent us perfectly or whatever. And so we don't do anything. Right, Ariel? Just kidding. Okay, so the good news here, like a big aha for me that happened, is that right when we first started our business, I'll take you guys back to 2017, this education business. So first of all, we were working with all businesses, right? I didn't want to niche down, of course. But we were working for all business owners, and I really had set this goal of like, I want to go live every week, no matter what, okay? In 2017, so I've been doing this for 5 years. And what I was really struggling with is that I was putting all this pressure on myself, but it was coming mostly from, I realized it was mostly about my ego, okay? It was mostly because I was making it about me. How did, my hair look? How did, could I talk without stuttering? Could I, what if somebody could fact check me and find something wrong with what I was saying? Right? Like, I was making it all about me and my expertise, how I looked, how I sounded, and all of that. And what really helped me show up better and more authentically and made everything else easier was truly accepting and realizing it's not about me at all. And your lives, your videos, your posts that you put out, your stories, your highlights, your website, etc., they're not about you. And I have a feeling that this is going to help take that pressure off of you, because here's the thing. When we're too in our heads, we're going to tear and be critical over every single thing, right? If it's about me, forget it. I'm going to overthink everything until I'm shut down and I feel like a piece of crap and I'm just not going to do it, right? Why take the risk of being seen? Why take the risk of being judged or called out or trolled? okay? But it's not about me. It's about you guys. So when we can show up with more of this servant heart and more of this like giving mindset and attitude, right? I'm showing up for the one woman out there who needs to hear this today. Okay? And yes, that is still important with skin and with hair. I mean, hair is the biggest indicator of confidence. Same with skin. I mean, anybody with acne can tell you what a huge deal that has on their life. And your hair and your skin is one of the things that really impacts you on a day-to-day basis, right? A bad hair day can totally mess up a whole entire week. So this stuff isn't silly. It isn't meaningless. It isn't shallow. It is very, very important when you're showing up that you have this heart of like giving and bringing value, because that is what is going to take it and take the spotlight off of you and put the spotlight on, okay, here's what I'm getting out of this. I as the viewer, like I as the woman who is hanging out with, you know, Ariel and Sunny, I'm listening for me. I'm not listening for them. I'm not listening to adore Sunny, although who couldn't adore Sunny? It's like I'm getting value out of it. So if you're feeling super stressed about how to show up, I want you to just start shifting it and think about your dream clients. Go back and read some of the reviews you've gotten from your clients. Remember the value that you're truly bringing to the table, because this is really what is going to help you be able to show up with humility, to do it wrong, to do it messy, to stutter your way through, or post an imperfect hair photo, right? Post an imperfect skin photo, post an imperfect photo of your suite. Like, mediocre is okay, you guys, but we have to be showing up. So then the next thing that I needed to really figure out is, okay, it's not about me. And then I needed to figure out how to make it sound more authentic, right? I talked to my luxury client method students a lot about this, where there's like the customer service voice, right? We've all seen the memes about that. We have this like level of professionalism, which isn't all bad, okay? It's not all bad. Don't throw it away altogether, but we lose ourselves a little bit, okay? I look at some of the things that I would write and put out there and some of the posts that I would do in the beginning of my business that were so stiff and cold because I was scared, right? I didn't know how to be myself. I didn't know how to sound authentic or attract that right person. I was just going almost defaulting like too serious, which only, you know, that's not going to attract the right clients, of course. So here's how you can get started in really understanding who you are so that your posts sound authentic, right? Because in 2023 that we're going into, this wave of looking for authenticity, you know, not wanting overly edited photos, not wanting more of like the raw, real part of running a business or being a hairstylist or doing your hair at home and all of this, that is what people are wanting. And so how can we show an authentic view of what's happening if we don't even know what that looks like for ourselves? So the first thing that I want you to do is I'm here. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is take 10 minutes, and I always like setting timers because I feel like it increases my focus, right? I know I'm just working on this for 10 minutes. Notifications can wait. Everything else can like wait for a second. So take 10 minutes and define your core values, okay? If you want an example, I really modeled mine off of a book I read called Delivering Happiness, but our number one core value is do no harm. Okay, do no harm is our number one core value. And so from there, we go into more maybe like what you would consider businessy things. But if I know my core value is to do no harm, to never say no, but always have alternative options, right? No is an incomplete sentence is one of our values. By defining these, I can know very clearly how to show up and what sounds like me and what doesn't. And this is the same even for, sharing content from other sources, knowing what kind of political activism to get involved in. It's like, what is in alignment with your core values? So that's the first step. Then what I want you to do is I really want you to define what makes you different. And this gets a little bit tricky because often we want to go to the services. Whenever I'm like, what makes you different? A lot of people list like their specialties, right? I'm an amazing blonde specialist. Cool. So now we're going to dive deeper to find what makes you different, which is it that you're meticulous, right? Like a great blonde specialist is pretty meticulous with how they weave, how they do the placement, how thin their sections are. Like I know when I was a stylist, a lot of my blondes in the beginning didn't get light enough because I didn't want to take fine sections. I didn't want to. And I got a result for that. So as a blonde specialist, what makes you different could be being meticulous. Really understanding the head shape, really matching a blonde with their lifestyle, right? There's high maintenance blonde and there's super low maintenance blonde. Really matching tones to somebody's skin tone, like really looking at them and connecting with them. So that's where you're gonna find what makes you different. So if you wanna start with your specialty, but then dial it in more, is it really good communication so that you and your clients always on the same page, and so they leave happy or clear on how they're going to get there if they didn't get there today in the next few visits, okay? So those are the things that make you different. These are so important because another story I have for you in a second is I'll just tell you that and then you'll see how this relates, okay? So the third thing that you have to do, and then I'm gonna give you your homework, is now we're going to list out some of the qualities of our dream client. Okay, and here's a really good example. So one of the stylists that I work with, when we were talking on this, so this was still when I was doing things like very one-on-one, so I was walking her through these steps. We were really working on this together, and she was telling me that her dream client, and I knew it was true because her face like lit up and she got all excited. Like, have you ever seen people when they talk about something they love, it's like just joy radiates from them. It's the best thing ever. But her dream client, she realized, was rebellious, bold, driven women. Okay? Rebellious, bold, driven women. So feminine, but very like powerful and like owning their shit, what they look like, their uniqueness, their style, like not afraid to be seen, not afraid to be different from culture, okay? When we got there, which it can take time to figure this out, right? It's a journey. But when we take time to figure this out, ooh, Ariel, that's your dream client too? Okay, keep this in mind, all right? So when she found out that was her dream client, we went and looked at her Instagram, and you guys, her profile photo was like an artsy photo from far away, almost in black and white. Her content was the same vibe, mellow. Her wording was super professional. The images were of very like, what I would say is like classic beauty looks. And I hope you're understanding, like, that's a disconnect, right? It makes sense why she didn't feel authentic in how she was showing up, and she wasn't attracting the right people. Who wants to show up and be safe when you're really somebody who loves bold, right? So this was a huge breakthrough for her, and she finally understood what kind of content she wanted to put out, what kind of images, even if they weren't hair images, right? If you are somebody whose dream client is like a rebellious, badass, like, bitch, then talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, talk to the badass women like you would in real life. You can swear, you can, like, be direct, you can be funny, you can show your personality because that fits with who you're trying to attract. So when we're showing up very vanilla, if you don't want the vanilla client, that's how it's going to start to feel bad and be extra draining. And this all applies to being an introvert, because like I said in the beginning, when we aren't sure, or when we feel like we have to spend so much energy, like mental energy, into figuring something out, it's like, it is truly exhausting. When we feel like we're putting on a front, when we feel like we're, not being authentic, it really, really drags us down. Let alone, it's the holidays, right? Let alone all of your clients need to come in tomorrow. So defining your core values, defining the 3 things that make you different beneath your specialty, so not just specialty, and then really defining that dream client, you guys. This is how it all starts to come together. Okay, so what you're going to do next, once you've walked through these exercises, you've accepted that it isn't about you, you have permission to be authentic and be messy and be bold or be artsy or like whoever you are, okay? Now what I want you guys to do tonight is I want you to create a post for Instagram, okay? You can also reshare it, or like for bonus points, you can talk about it more in your stories. So like if you guys follow me, sometimes I will do a story before I reshare my post, so it'll be like leading into the post. So for this, it might say, have you ever wondered what got me into, doing this, okay? Yes, and absolutely, I always wonder that, right? And then they're gonna vote on it. Then the next slide, you can share it and say, go read this caption. And then the next slide, you can go even a little bit further. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to post a photo of yourself, okay? It could be a selfie. It could be a photo that someone else took of you. It could be fully edited with like insane rainbows and like cats with laser eyes or flowers, or be really like calm and normal, okay? But I want you guys to post something that just feels like you, okay? And then in the post, I want you guys to first express gratitude and then share why you got into this industry. Okay, so it could sound like this, like, thank you so much, wanted to take a minute to thank all of you for following me and engaging with my posts. Here's why it means so much to me. And then you can talk about how I got into this industry because fill in the blank, right? And this might be because you yourself knew the transformative power of feeling beautiful or feeling confident or feeling powerful because of how you look, right? You could also talk about how your dream for your business is to fill in the blank, right? It could be very like matter of fact, like, because I want to impact 1,000 women in Tampa. I want to help 1,000 women in Tampa love themselves a little bit more, show up better in their lives. You could also talk about what kind of women inspire you the most, right? Maybe it's moms, how selfless they are, how many plates they're juggling all the time. I'm inspired by seeing all the hardworking mothers in my life, and I wanted to be able to do something for them. I wanted to be able to help this corner of the world be a little happier and be a little bit better, and that's why I do what I do. And you guys supporting me really helps with this. So the reason why this post is so powerful is because it's actually going to be a little bit vulnerable, right? You're gonna let a little bit of your wall down here and let people peek inside to your heart, or peek inside to your passion, peek inside to your vision, whichever way you go. And I believe for introverted people, although this would work great for extroverted people as well, but for introverted people, I feel like posts like this, where we're truly being ourselves, I feel like they give us life, right? We get excited about putting stuff like this out. We look forward to doing this. Even if at first, this first post is a little freaky, it starts to get exciting, because when you do have the person who messages you and says, oh my gosh, loved that post, totally agree, blah, blah, blah. Like any conversations that come from this, any likes, even if it's 2 freaking likes, feels great because this is real. This is like, this is actually you. This isn't you doing your hairstylist mask and doing what everyone who's tagged behind the chair does. You know, this is like actually real. And I promise you guys that being real almost sounds like it would be harder, but it's so much easier. And then the other thing is that it's so much more effective. It is so much more effective because this is what happens when we're actually honest and we let our walls down and we just speak how we speak to our friends, is that we attract people who really like that. I mean, when we are showing up and we're like putting on, let's say, the overly professional mask, right? We're like uptight, saying everything kind of like a little bit cold or keeping like a little distance here. We're going to attract clients who appreciate that or who want more of that. And then what happens? Then when we meet, who knows if we're really going to get along? Who knows how all of that is going to go? So by being more real, we can really get the people who appreciate us for us. The other thing that it does, the second thing, especially if you're willing to go live every once in a while, is that it really helps your current clients connect with you even more. And connection builds loyalty. So like, obviously we need to be talented. We need to be doing what our clients are asking us to do. We need to be consistent in our work and our skill. But if we don't have a little, like a connection, a chemistry with our clients, it's really hard to build that clientele and keep them loyal and keep them happy and coming back when there are so many other options out there. So I think that this is not only going to be a breath of fresh air for you, but it's actually going to help you get better results, which don't you love when that happens? Like when doing the right thing is actually also the thing that gets you progress. Like I love when that happens. Okay, Sunny says, I shared some facts about myself and my client brought it up at her visit last night and we connected on a whole other level. Sunny, I love that. Yeah, and I think what I love about what you do, Sunny, is that, and I try to do a balance of this too, but again, these are things we are constantly working on. This isn't like, you can't necessarily just have a formula for it, right? It's kind of intuitive and organic in some ways, but it's finding the mix that makes you comfortable. So right now, if you're not sharing anything, if you're not connecting a little bit on the other side of that wall, start with 1 out of 10, right? One post is going to be more vulnerable or really showing your personality out of 9 other posts that are going to be more what you would usually do. So this is how we're going to start breaking it in. But Sunny, I feel like you're almost at like a 50-50 level. And I think that that's cool because it becomes your brand, right? And then it's very clear that you want to work with people who are emotionally mature, who have a sense of self-awareness, who like are bettering themselves and like growing, and who have this certain like beautiful sensitivity that is so important. And then you're bringing in those clients that really match with that. And I think that that is, it just shows that when we do let the wall down a little bit, it really helps. And by the way, I know this isn't easy. That's why we start with, here's why I started my business, right? Like that's how we like get into it, because, you know, sharing your own personal journey with your skin or your hair, sharing your own personal experience with, you know, feeling beautiful, not feeling beautiful, and all of that, it is so, so powerful to connect us with the people that we really care about. So I hope that this has been helpful, you guys. I absolutely love when I get to hang out with you. Sunny says, yes, a new client has been wanting to book with me and finally pulled the trigger after seeing me share my story and being vulnerable. I love it. And Sunny, you are not vulnerable in a way, because there has to be a line, right? Like, and I think we all know the line, like in our gut and in our spirit of like, what's okay and then what is probably better for one-on-one conversations or better for a different time or something like that. And I think you really do a good job of that. And again, because you're willing to do that, let's say 50-50, your potential clients know, right? There's like a hell yes feeling or a hell no feeling, right? Like when we are authentic, we are going to be turning some people off. And I think that that is really cool. That is a good thing. That's what we want to be doing, is not attracting people that are going to be difficult to vibe with or not a good match or, don't want the specialty we have. Like, that's a good thing. And so your potential people get to have that hell yes, this is the right person for me. We are aligned in our values and go from there. It is so, so powerful. So as you all go into the holiday season, as you go into a time where there is so much energy and so many people grabbing for your attention, I just want to remind you that showing up is really a love letter to the people who follow you, to the clients that you have, and allowing yourself to be yourself with them is one of the greatest gifts, because it's only going to benefit all of you. And I really hope that you all give this a try, give this post a try tonight. If you do post it, tag me and let me know so that I can come and root you on and leave you some love. And yeah, that is it for today. I feel like I just wanted to chat today. So thanks for coming. And I will talk to you all in the DMs. So thank you so much. Bye.